Hello, buddy. Good morning. There's not really too much to go by from what I'm looking at the moment. So, as I tuned into the 1 hourly, where you saw a move above all moving averages and move back down below all moving averages. So up and down, side to side. So, not really giving much away in the short term here. Don't normally make videos about the 1 hourly. But when you're confronted with a 4 hourly that looks like this, I suppose you do have to dig a little deeper. You've got on the plus side, basically, you've got bull div here, bull div here. We're technically above the 20 moving average. So a sharp projection from the from this horizontal box, which is actually was yesterday the 21 exponential again. The daily holds so far above the Bollinger Band itself, which is 89,300. Money flow next turning up a little bit. It's basically very lame, let's just say. It's just lame price action, really. It could go up or it could go down. I think the only direction it's not going to go is to the left, to be honest with you. But, these days nothing's impossible, I suppose. it could go to the left. You could jump out the screen, poke me in the eye, slap me in the face, Who knows what it could do? So yeah, I mean, I pressed record. I'm making a video, but there's not really much going on here. I suppose if we just take it up one more notch, just for the sake of content, we still are seeing higher highs, higher lows. And again, I say it all the time because it is a weekly, and obviously that remains the same every day. We are still high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, and with that is the basic idea that we are still in a bull market despite everybody sort of backing out on the idea. And I would understand why they are backing out on the idea, because we lost the 50, because the 50 wasn't lost before, and then we lost the 50. We move over to the monthly. Monthly's been lost as well. Monthly 10. We didn't lose it here, didn't lose it here. The only thing that we do have that's still in place is the 20 and the 21. So Bollinger Band is still in place for a monthly Bollinger Band, for a monthly Bitcoin. So look, I mean, it's so hard to say, isn't it? Really, sometimes better to be left alone, just to see where it goes and then take advantage of that particular trend, support, resistance, or whatever. But based on the 1 hourly, if we really had to call for any particular direction, and until we've reclaimed, and again we're talking tiny, tiny, tiny moves, we've got basically where we are right now. We've got a lot of resistances above us. I hate this. We've got a lot of resistances above us, to the tune of 0.5%. If you move up 0.5% on Bitcoin and reclaim those areas on this chart, ideally above 91.5, it should be good for continuation back up to 93, then 95 to 97, as we sort of suggested over the weekend. It's not impossible. These are targets. These are definitely targets. Are they guaranteed targets? Nah, they're not guaranteed. But are they targets? Yeah, I suppose they are targets, because that's what it suggests. And those targets are given to us on the daily. So you got 91.6, 93. Then you got your 94.5, 96, 103, 107, 100 billion gazillion dollars. It's all there. But right now, nothing going on. Quick look at stocks. Basically unchanged on the pre-market, no biggie. Looking at dollar, below all moving averages on the daily, that's fine. Creeping above the Bollinger Band Center, but with a positive cross on the Itchy Cloud. Okay, fine. So you might see a move into this death cross. We already got one yesterday. Bang. Looking for another one again today. Again, sort of generally bullish on the dollar, generally speaking. But, as said over the weekend on the Patreon stream, this is a death cross, retesting. This is a major support, okay, back down to 97, riddled with bearish divergence. Very similar to how it looked in 2021. The only difference is there is a very different setup with money printing and inflation. We're actually just coming off the back of all of that at the moment, aren't we? We're cutting rates at the moment, Probably going to be cutting rates this week, in fact. I think the market knows that. 0.25 leading into Christmas, and then quantitative tightening finishing. So different, economical view here. So yes, the model looks very similar and will probably respond in a similar way, as in this. We will probably be looking at something similar to that at some point soon. But as of right now, that is a death cross that's been rejected from, like what we saw here, bang, bang. So I think we're heading back down to the trend line. Whether we break it is a different story. I know that, there's something to be said for that. It's a fair point. Like, if we continue to print money, cut rates, and then do quantitative easing, then yeah, of course, the dollar's model can break. And this is an ascending channel, a rising channel. And typically they do break down. And that would be good for all of us, wouldn't it, really? It would be good for everything. Well, you want to call Bitcoin in an extended cycle, or do you just want to say it's absorbed into the stock market now and is just going to flow with everybody else? It's fair enough to say that, I think, because, it was almost like that in the last cycle, wasn't it, really? If you think about it, the correlation was just uncanny. Yes, there was a 4-year market cycle, but there was also a bear market that correlated exactly with the stock market, wasn't it, really? There's your 2021. Oh, it's the S&P 4-year cycle. All the way up, a whole year down. Hang on a minute, what are you talking about? That rings a bell. That reminds me of something, that, doesn't it? It's okay, so correlation has been absolute 100% in place. Carbon copy of each other, and the bull market, effectively very similar as well. So, all right, I'll go with that. I will go with that, because the S&P is not in a 4-year cycle. The dollar is in a bit of a 4-year cycle. But sack it all off for now. Let's have a little think about what's going on in the world. It's different a little bit. This time is different. That is going to be the title for today's video. But anyway, I'm not talking about huge massive moves up, huge massive moves down. I'm talking about a trend, a chart, and the dollar looks like a rejection's taken place over the last few weeks on a death cross. Quantitative tightening beginning to end. We've got a small rate cut, and the probability of dollar coming back down to 97, so everybody else should benefit. So I'm going to leave it there. There's nothing else really to say. Bitcoin is nah. Stock market is also like that in a way for now. The dollar, if anything, has given us a little clue that we're probably going to come back down to 97. So hopefully everything and everyone will benefit to an extent with that. Right, I'll leave it there. Nothing else to say. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.